Hello everybody, Truth Dog here, Internet's favorite dog, back at again with another video. Today we will be talking about cloning. How does it affect you? Do you know a clone? Am I a clone? Why did I cut my hair? Didn't I say that if I were to ever cut my hair, and you know that I've been replaced? I say a lot of things that I end up disagreeing with, and this is like videos that this is like on the day of me uploading a video. I'll like film something. I never watch my videos once. I record it and then I look at it and I think okay, that's not too bad, and then I'll upload it. But even with that said, I'll look back at a video. I'll look through a video I just made and be like, well, I don't agree with that, but I'm not going to redo the whole thing just because I said one thing which I don't agree with. So yeah, just know that my videos aren't perfect. I don't think anyone is following the word of Truth Dog to the letter. I don't expect anyone to do what I say or to believe what I believe or whatever else. It's the same with anything, you know. You take what works for you and you leave the rest, you know. So, what am I talking about here? Cloning, right? Yeah. I cut my hair. No, I haven't been cloned. No. Don't think that. Stop typing that. Stop putting that out there. It's not true. Yeah, I just cut my hair. I went to the beach. Never wore a hat. See, here's an example of something that I've said which I disagreed with. In one of my videos where I talk about chemtrails and sun gazing and all that stuff, I say you can go out in the sun as much as you want and never worry about it. That's not true. I burnt my hair. So I burnt my hair. It's like still messed up. Like I burned it down to the root. Look at this shit. It's all like dead. So I've had to have it like trimmed multiple times just because like I do intend to grow it long because your hair is your connection to God. It's your spiritual antenna, man. And like the longer your hair is, the more information downloads you're able to receive. So if this video sucks, it's just because my hair hasn't finished growing. That's the only reason. It's not because I'm bad at this. It's not because I'm a hack. It's because of so I hacked my hair. That's it. But on the topic of that, while I'm ranting and raving like a manic schizophrenic, literally just forgot what I was going to say again. I shouldn't have masturbated today. Seriously though, like that no fap stuff. I mean, I think it's true. But my longest no fap streak was 9 weeks around Christmas time because I thought there's a chance the world will end in 2020. So I thought, going to want to keep my vibration high just in case it's the end of the world. And well, of course it wasn't, and I could have been masturbating like crazy that whole time. So lesson learned. No, but seriously, yeah, my longest streak is 9 weeks, and in that time I didn't really experience any of the benefits that the no fapstronaut community experience when it comes to no fap. I generally was in a better mood, generally had more energy, but on the whole, not that much different. I'd say like after the first week or two, I experienced all the benefits that I ever experienced over the 2+ months that I was abstaining from self-abuse. But I do intend on getting back on that horse. As soon as someone tells me that the world's ending, that's when I'm going to stop masturbating. No, but like I need, to my credit, I'm an incredibly lonely person. I think I've said this in my videos before. I've never had a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Okay, I've never had a girlfriend. I have had sex, but not really with anyone who I was attracted to. So I've never like been intimate with anyone who I loved. Yeah, I don't have a girlfriend. I've tried dating apps and striking conversations in person and all the ways that a person would, I suppose, and it never works out. It's like the Truman Show, like that scene where he meets his, I guess, soulmate or whatever, that girl in high school, and they're ripped apart. They're kept apart, I should say. You know, it's like the what's that other movie? It's got like a really pretentious name, the Adjustment Bureau. They name these movies these things that nobody will want to see, so they can be like, they can put the truth out there, but minimize the amount of people who are actually going to know about it. You know, because like I believe that they're karmically obliged to put their plans out ahead of time. It's that idea that if they tell us what they're going to do and we don't do anything to stop them, then we're just as to blame as they are. So their negative karma is reduced to when they, you know, like 9/11, all that for like 50 years or whatever, they put in movies and songs and comics and you name it. All these messages and plots that talk about destroying the World Trade Center with planes or whatever. So yeah, they're rascals, aren't they? Yeah, so like no fat, but yeah, I didn't experience any extreme benefits from that, and I didn't even get that stuff where it's like it's meant to increase the attraction of the opposite sex. I don't get any attention from ladies and ever really, you know. I mean, there's not too many real people around anyway, so I would say that's like you're facing an uphill battle when you're a real person, because you're more inclined to want to share the company of real people because you want to have real conversations. And you know, this, like I was saying about the Adjustment Bureau, like it really seems like real people are deliberately kept apart so that we never meet each other, we never share our pieces of the puzzle and start putting things together. And also obviously our vibrations, you know, our happiness would be very detrimental to the system. You know, they don't want us vibrating at a higher frequency, being around people that we love and relate to and can support and all that sort of thing, because I really do believe that one true individual by themselves is a threat enough to the system. If you get a group or more than one together, it's like you're literally invincible. So I really do believe that there's some sort of deliberate effort to make sure that we never really come into contact with each other for too long, if it ever happens. What else? Yeah, so there's that. And what did I start this? What did I start? I guess I wanted to talk about clones, but maybe I'll get to that another time. This video is mainly about, I've decided that this video is mainly about like no FAP. And yeah, like I said, I wasn't experiencing any of those like benefits of superpowers. One really good thing I can say about being on no FAP is that when I would wake up in the morning, I felt fresh. I felt like really like I actually got some sleep. One thing I've noticed when I am masturbating, and just for the record, I'm not some sort of chronic masturbator, okay? I mean, my hands are hairy on this side, not this side, all right? You know, I'm on average, because you asked, I masturbate probably once every 2 to 3 days. But like I said, ideally I'd like to cut it down, but I'm just so lonely, you know, just so lonely. And where else am I going to get my dopamine from, damn it, you know? Yeah, but yeah, on the topic, back to the topic of real people, you know, I really do believe that before we incarnate onto this earth, you know, and all that sort of stuff, that we don't necessarily get to choose where we go. I think that the family that we're sent to is basically forced upon us in some way. Because this ties into what I've said in a previous video about vaccines, how they're basically limiting your potential at birth, you know, because not only are you powerful, you're powerful enough on your own by default. They want to minimize that as much as they can. Yeah, I had one experience where I actually met a real person, and the thing that led me to meeting that person was something which definitely stuck with me. It was a day where I was just very much sick of the world, and I'll do this from time to time. These days I I try to avoid leaving the house because it's just fucking depressing, you know. But this day I left the house and I took my orgonite pyramid and I decided to like sort of stage a protest in the car park, where I stood in like, there was like, it was an undercover car park and there was like a ray of light shining down in one specific section outside the door entrance to the mall. And I was just standing there, like preaching all the true things I know about chemtrails and reptilians, psychopaths, and vaccines and all that stuff. I was just shouting it out, and I like to do this stuff in public because you know it's a good way to gauge how sane or insane you are. You know, your observations. You like say, well, most people aren't real. Well, let's test that. You know. So I stood there and I started saying all this stuff, and yes, the majority of people looked at me like they had no reference for how to react to that, because there's been no TV show or whatever that they've seen that demonstrates how to handle a person who's saying the things I was saying. But you know, every like 1 person in 10 or every 2 people in 10 would kind of like smile, and they wouldn't necessarily know what I'm talking about, but they would at least appreciate that I was being different. Anyway, long story short, the security was called on me. It was like very much like They Live. You had this guy like talking into a walkie-talkie going, I didn't know what he was saying. It was like a bunch of numbers, blah, 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 blah. And I just like, my intuition told me, get the hell out of there. So I ran off like a scared little girl with her tail between her legs. And I got in my car. And rather than leaving the shopping complex, I just drove around to the other side. Because I hadn't done my shopping yet. And they weren't going to stop me. So I drove all the way around the other side, and then I thought, well, they've clearly identified me by what I'm wearing. So I went into the first shop I could find, and I bought a black shirt, and I decided to put on dark sunglasses. That's another tip, by the way. Wearing dark sunglasses is good. It's like in They Live. I think that's one of the messages they're trying to get across. You want to wear dark sunglasses in public because you actually emanate a lot of energy from your eyes when you have a soul. So perps, you know, psychopaths, narcissists, reptilians, all those arseholes, they can steal your energy through eye contact. So it's very important that you shield your eyes in public if you can. Anyway, so I decide I get in a new outfit. I'm in disguise now, and I'm down in the grocery store, as they like to call it in the US. Trying to branch out, trying to get big in the American markets. Yeah, so I was there, and there's this lady in the deli section would have given out free samples, right? And I'm saying like, okay, like, is this stuff's vegan or whatever, vegetarian? And oh yeah, it's very much so. And I'm like, okay, really? And it took like 2 seconds of reading the bottle to realize, no, it's not. I said, are you telling other people this? Like, what the hell? Why would you lie? And I just basically gave her a good talking to, I suppose. And there was this girl that walked in, and she like smiled. She like saw what I was doing, and she smiled, like kind of reaction I was getting early in the car park. Like 1 in every 10 people, like they recognize, oh well, you know, that's interesting. Someone with a personality and someone who's not just doing the same shit that all these other fucking robots are doing. And so like I finished having my very, very polite conversation with this lady who was clearly just misinformed and not really doing anything wrong on purpose. I went up to this person who I saw, and I did my usual thing, which I said, hey, are you an alien? And she laughed and she said, what? Am I an alien? I go, yeah, are you an alien? Blah, blah, blah. I just struck up a conversation with her again. Long story short, I was saying a bunch of woke stuff, and she was very receptive to it, which is very, very rare. So anyway, we went outside. She needed to smoke a cigarette. We all have our addictions. And we decided to sit in the car park underneath the stairs on a staircase, and we were just talking about like everything, because like she was very interested in what I had to say. And within like a minute, the staircase was full with all of these people who were on their lunch break. But I've never seen this, a staircase that was just full, like multiple floors of fucking just all these spies just deciding to sit around us, make us uncomfortable, you know, that kind of thing where that's intimidation by proximity or whatever. And I said, okay, let's get out of here. We went into the outside section, sat on a park bench overlooking sort of like the lake with the ducks and all that. And we were just talking, and at that point, you know, that area got flooded with NPCs and who knows what else. And a security guard, a different security guard from earlier, came up and literally just decided to have his cigarette break standing right in front of us, like a meter in front of us. So I got out my phone and I'm filming it, and you know, I'm just filming him until he walks away. And you know, I had this connection with this person. It was real, and she told me stuff about, you know, I was talking how we live in a simulation, because she'd heard this stuff but never really had a conversation with about it. She had a boyfriend at the time, and she said that a lot of the time, like, she's done psychedelics and things like that, which I've never done, unfortunately. I actually really enjoy that, I'm sure, but I've never had the opportunity to do that. Like, my whole life is just fucking shit, really. I mean, I should be grateful, but fuck it. Like, my life is, I have no good memories, you know. My life is shit. It's just a series of fucking nothing. It's like you wake from a dream of, it's like, well, I had that dream where I was standing in line again. You know, that's my life. You know, it sucks. But anyway, she told me, like, when she's done like mushrooms or something, like, she's literally felt like the VR technology on her head, and she like tried to take it off. Like, she said she could literally feel the VR headset. Anyway, long story short, I actually got her contact info, even though she had a boyfriend. She showed me a picture of her boyfriend. I didn't want to say anything at the time, but like, he was soulless. And you know, we exchanged details, and then that afternoon she called me. She texted me and said, you know, it was really nice meeting me, but she can't really go ahead. It wouldn't be fair to her boyfriend and all that. So it's like, that's my experience with meeting people. It's always like I meet someone and then something stops it. Like, I never get to see them again. Like, my family has moved house. Back when I lived with my parents, my family moved house several times while I was growing up. Every time I made like a best friend, oh, sorry, we have to move now. Well, I wouldn't even get a sorry. You know, we just have to move. It's just bullshit, you know. So, yeah. So I guess that's my talk on no FAP, I suppose. It's good, but in my experience, it's not that good. Maybe it goes into the idea that, like, I said, like, as I said, I haven't really done like hard drugs, but the drugs that I have tried in the past, like marijuana, and at one point ecstasy a couple of times. I was working in a warehouse at one point where like literally every third person seemed to be a drug dealer. So I ended up buying ecstasy a couple of times from these people. It had virtually like no effect on me. Like, it made me more energetic, and it made me more talkative. But aside from that, it was like nothing. It was just like, felt like, you know, I was in a good mood. It didn't feel like, whoa, you know. Whenever I smoke marijuana or weed, as the kids like to call it, it doesn't really do anything to me. I've never smoked and been like all giggly and stuff, and I've tried like multiple strains. It never makes me giggly or anything like that. It doesn't even make me creative. I'm naturally creative. It just kind of, it makes me feel like less depressive, I suppose, but then at a certain point it just makes me incredibly tired and you know, hungry. Alcohol's the same. I don't drink very often. I'm actually pretty sure that I'm going to stop drinking. At this point I drink wine like once a week, and that just, I'll have one or two drinks and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember why I like this. Then after about an hour, it's just like, God, I feel like death, you know. So I've always kind of been like that with chemicals. I don't know if it's because I'm an angel or what, but yeah, chemicals. So what's the point of this video again? I don't know. Yeah, no FAP, good stuff, I suppose. And grow your hair if you can, even if you don't have a lot. Grow what you got, because I think it's really good for you. And yeah, so that's the video. Made it to 10 minutes and then some. Hopefully this was watchable. I'm going to watch it back, and if it is, if I deem it's watchable, then you'll be watching it right now, I suppose, if you've made it this far, if you have, God help you. But anyway, that's the video. I don't have the tape on my computer, so I am using a piece of paper at this point, because I don't want them watching me while I masturbate. Yeah, so that's the video. Hope you have a good one. Truth Dog out. Woof woof! Alright. Time to masturbate. That, in case is the sound of me ejaculating. I'm joking.